The Lexus IS is getting yet another refresh, and there's one huge change you're going to want to hear about. Let's talk about the new 2026 Lexus IS refresh. Hello and welcome everybody to the Curbside Corner. My name is Eric and I obsess about cars so you don't have to. And today we're talking about, once again, the Lexus IS because it just got its third refresh coming in 2026. But before we get started in this video, if you could please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It would mean the absolute world to me. Also, a little bit of self-promotion time. We actually opened an online store and we have some awesome items on the store. And we're also doing a small discount as well. The link to the store is in the description down below. But let's get started into this video. And moving into our first topic of this video is something incredibly awesome to see, and that is the Lexus IS is getting yet another refresh. This car's current generation model has been around for almost 11 years, which is crazy to say that it's getting its third round of refreshes, while other car companies literally only give a model 1 to 2 years before they scrap the entire process and the entire model. So it's awesome to see that Lexus is doing another refresh to make sure that its car is staying competitive with the other competition out there. And this story is extremely new, so I will put the link to the actual press release from Lexus in the description down below. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What are your thoughts about the current generation of the IS, but also what are your thoughts about this Lexus IS that's going to be refreshed for 2026? And to finally talk about the big change from the start of this video, and that the Lexus IS is bringing to the 2026 refresh model, and that is they are getting rid of the IS500. Crazy to think that now in 2026 and beyond, you're only going to be able to buy a Lexus IS with a V6 and no V8. So the IS350, whether you want the all-wheel drive or the rear-wheel drive, that's all you're getting. You're getting a all-wheel drive with an automatic transmission, and you're getting a rear-wheel drive with an automatic transmission paired with a V6. And it's just crazy to think that in 2025, 2026, Lexus is now moving to just one option for a car engine, which is crazy to think because, yes, you know, honestly, yeah, most people are going to be buying the IS350 because they really don't need more than 300 horsepower. They don't need, you know, crazy amounts of torque or horsepower that the V8 offered, but it's still crazy to think that a lot of people out there, the small majority that really enjoyed the IS500, you're not going to have that option anymore. And so it brings a lot of nostalgia to my mind, is because as someone who grew up where V8s and V6s were consistently put into cars to make them go faster, it's just very nostalgic to think that we're moving to a time where a lot of car companies are only giving one option for a gas model, or they're just making either a push to EVs or they're starting to roll out hybrids. And honestly, I see nothing wrong with hybrids. Having the instant torque and also having great MPG, especially as someone who lives in California and knowing that gas is extremely expensive, it's awesome to see that a lot of car companies are bringing hybrid technology. But at the same time, someone who grew up having, you know, really fast V8s, really fast V6s. That was actually my first car that I ever drove, was a V6. But I will say it is a little bit sad to think that we are inching our way towards a fully electric America, whether we like it or not. Eventually they're just all going to be either EVs and then maybe just a few hybrids. But it's extremely sad and nostalgic to think that there are not that many V8s you can buy anymore that aren't supercharged or turbocharged, just a naturally aspirated V8 that the Lexus IS brought, with the reliability and that quiet hum of the V8 when you're not revving it. That's some of the awesome things that we're going to be losing with the Lexus IS500 and the V8 in the Lexus IS no longer being around. But I would love to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts about this change that the Lexus IS is only going to be offered in a V6 all-wheel drive and a rear-wheel drive option? Would love to hear your thoughts down below. Moving into things that I really like about this Lexus IS refresh. And number one is I love the fact that they finally moved away. And I know this has been a while. It's actually since the last refresh, but I am so happy that they are 100% embracing the idea of a full touchscreen interface for the car. It doesn't make any sense to me that as recent as 2020, 2022, 2023, we could still see Lexus ISs that had a touchpad instead of a touchscreen, which is just mind-blowing because as someone who's looking for used Lexus ISs, and that's a big reason why I created this video and I've been so high on the Lexus IS, is because I actually want a Lexus IS. I think it is awesome to see that they're going to have a touchscreen now. So in 5 to 6 years, when this 2026 version of Lexus IS comes out, it's going to be awesome to see that they're actually going to have touchscreens now instead of the touchpad. And I know the touchpad isn't the worst possible thing out there, but I think it's awesome that they're finally moving to just a nice widescreen touchscreen for the car, as everyone should be. Have a good mix of tactile buttons and knobs and also have touchscreen for things like music. I think that's awesome, and that's one of the biggest things I am really excited for with this IS refresh. And moving into the next item I am really excited for this car is that I'll put the pictures up above right now, but seeing the Lexus IS red interior with that red and black interior, oh my gosh, I think that interior is fantastic. And I know that red interior is kind of moving towards not being super special anymore. A lot of car brands are doing red interior, but I think it looks fantastic, and Lexus did a fantastic job with this refreshed red interior, because at the same time you want to have that bright red interior, you also want to have accents that allow the car to look a little bit different, so you're not just looking at Crayola red inside the interior, but you're also just having little accents of white and black just to help bring it together to make it not look just premium but also functional on a day-to-day basis, so it doesn't look like you're getting into a car that just has a bunch of Crayola crayons scattered everywhere. I think it's awesome to see, and those are some things that I'm actually really excited for with the Lexus IS refresh. But I would love to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts about the interior, and what are your thoughts about the potential of it having a nice touchscreen and also having a really nice updated red interior? Love to hear your thoughts down below. And talking about the first thing that I'm not really that excited and I almost dislike about the Lexus IS, and I've been doing a ton of research on Reddit and a ton of research on the internet about this exact thing. People are not excited about the front grille on the Lexus IS. And I'm not vibing too much with the new front grille of the IS is because it looks a little bit like a Toyota Camry. The Toyota Camry just had a refresh either last year or the year before that. And I'll put a picture on the screen comparing the two. But I think it looks a little bit like a Toyota Camry on the front. And especially for a car that's going to be expensive. That's one thing with Lexus, is that you are paying for reliability and you are paying for a car that can last millions and millions of miles. If you want to learn more, I actually put a description up here that you could watch the full video on. But you are going to pay a premium for this Lexus IS. But why in the world would you want to have a Lexus IS that's going to be, you know, $50, $60, $70, $80,000? But it's going to look like a Toyota Camry. That doesn't make any sense to me, and I think that Lexus should have gone with something either more luxuriously looking or go with something that's a little bit more exotic looking and a little bit more sporty looking. And I know that's a tall order to ask for Lexus because they love reusing parts on the Lexus models and up badging it to or down badging it to the Toyota models. I know that's a thing that Lexus and Toyota does, but I just think it looks a little bit too much like the Toyota Camry. And then at the same time, why would I want to spend all that money to basically drive the front end of a Toyota Camry? In summary, I am really excited about this new Lexus IS refresh. I think this car is being brought up to the competition so that it can compete with Mercedes and BMW, especially having a touchscreen option, making it look a little bit more refreshed, a little bit more modern looking, and staying totally away from the big buck teeth that the BMW was going with. I love the styling. I think it looks awesome. It has a little bit of characteristics similar to the Camry, but I would love to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts about the new 2026 Lexus IS refresh? Is it something you would care to purchase? Is it something that's not for you? I would love to hear your thoughts down below. But as always, my name is Eric. Thank you so much for pulling up to the curb, and let's keep talking cars.